Hey guys, welcome to the latest edition of the Muir Reflection. John from the John Muir Show here. And tomorrow there is scheduled to be a special congressional election in California's 25th Congressional District, with the winner of that election replacing the disgraced former Democrat Congresswoman Katie Hill. Now, it seemed that everything was going just fine leading up to tomorrow's election. That is until Friday evening, when it was announced that Democrats had successfully petitioned to add a new location for early voting where folks could go to cast their ballots on Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. This location being in a heavily Democrat neighborhood. Now, look, it seemed that everything, again, was set well ahead of time, that there was no complaints, that everything was going just fine. They'd established their polling locations. Everyone had been mailed their ballots so they could cast their ballots by mail if they chose to do so. And then all of a sudden things changed because we had various numbers coming in showing that when it comes to the ballot returns, a higher percentage of Republicans had returned their ballots compared to the percentage of Democrats who had returned their ballots. And it seems that California Democrats at that point decided that something needed to be done. They didn't think that they could win a free and fair election, so they said, let's add a new polling location in a traditionally heavily blue neighborhood. But it seems totally unfair, again, because you're just throwing anarchy into the equation. Everything was already taking place. No one was being disenfranchised, as they claim. People had the opportunity, vote by mail, vote in person, whatever you want to do. And now all of a sudden you're adding an additional polling place that everyone seemingly agreed ahead of time was totally unnecessary. You're adding that into this Democrat neighborhood just because you don't like the numbers that are coming back for ballot returns. You're afraid that the other party's candidate might be beating you. It's totally unacceptable. If you're going to add polling locations, which shouldn't be done at all this close to the election, how is it you're going to say, okay, we're only going to add a polling location in a neighborhood that is traditionally heavily in favor of this one party, but we're not going to do the same thing in neighborhoods that are traditionally heavily in favor of each of the other parties who are on the ballot? I mean, it's not fair in the slightest. It's totally unnecessary. And it's clear this is simply California Democrats trying to gain an unfair advantage in Tuesday's election. And it's very similar to what we'd seen here in the state of Wisconsin pertaining to our April 7th election, where for the longest time you had this state's Democrat Governor Tony Evers saying that the election should be held as scheduled on April 7th. And then just a few days before the election, you had Evers pulling a 180, trying to delay the election at that point, simply because you had absentee ballot return numbers coming in the state of Wisconsin that did not look good for Evers' preferred candidate in a state Supreme Court race. All of that was dictated by Evers' Democrat politics, and it seems everything out in the state of California pertaining to tomorrow's election is being dictated by California Democrats' politics. But look, folks, what's more important than who wins an election, what party wins an election, is that we have free and fair elections here in the United States, in places throughout the United States. And that should never be compromised, the integrity of our elections. But sadly, in recent years, we've started to notice a theme that you have had Democrat elites trying to rig our elections, gain an unfair advantage in our elections, because they're more concerned with their party winning than they are with preserving the integrity of our elections, ensuring that we have free and fair elections. And it cannot be tolerated. In any case where you have people who are trying to gain an unfair or unlawful advantage in our elections, those people, regardless of their political affiliation, must be held to account, to full and proper account, for what it is they're doing. Because here in the United States, if we lose our free and fair elections, we totally lose our legitimacy as a nation. And for anyone out there who believes putting partisan politics ahead of the integrity of our elections, ahead of ensuring that we always have free and fair elections in the United States, clearly it's showing that you don't give a damn about the United States, because you don't care about election integrity. And once you lose election integrity, there is no legitimacy to your nation at all. It's all the time that we have for today. The John Muir Show, each and every weekday, 8:40 a.m. on WTAQ, 9 a.m. WSAU and WHBL. Till next time, I'm out.